I am just getting out of a half-day strategy intensive with a client. I'm super excited. Since I've come to Atlanta, since I've come to Atlanta, this is my first client who's joined me in person in my new office, which is not my car, by the way, but in my new office. We had a really great session. But I wanted to pull out one of the things that we talked about and that I really supported her on, because I see this a lot with women leaders, but also people who just wear many hats and who extend themselves and kind of challenge themselves in their work. Throughout our 4 hours together, I would hear her say often, but I'm just not good at. And one of my challenges is, and so we all have had experiences where we experience challenges in our business or challenges in our workplace where we're really trying to either get through new goals or do some new things that we haven't done before. And it can be difficult to break new ground or work in new ways or lead in new ways. But I really wanted to dig under this idea that I'm not good at. So as we work to strategize in her business, which she runs in her industry, a business that is, does over $2 million in revenue annually. So she's got really great traction and she's known in her field. So apparently she's good at something, right? She's really good at something, just like most of us. But the things that she would say I'm not good at, when we dug under them, I was able to identify a few things. So some of the things that we're saying I'm not good at may be because we don't have the right processes set up. Right? So you may not have the right strategy to get done what you see in your mind's eye. So you might have a concept of what you want to get done. You might have a vision for where you want to go, where you're trying to take your team or your project, but without a good strategy or clear steps and timeline on how to get there, you'll feel like you're not good at what you're doing, but it's just that you don't have the strategy needed to execute clearly and simply for yourself and for others who work with you how to get this done. So a lot of times I just want to say this because we can internalize what we think we are or are not good at, when in fact it's just, have we put the right strategy or structure in place to make sure that we can actually execute what we want. The other thing was that I'm not good at, when we dug under it, I found that in fact, the other issue was there just wasn't enough information, right? So how can you be good at something that isn't in your wheelhouse, isn't your discipline, and you don't have enough information? Well, of course you're not good at it. You're not supposed to be. You're not trained in it. It's not your field, and you don't have the proper information. So I want to, again, step back from internalizing this idea of being good at something or not good at something, in order, oh, hey, African Lisbon tour. Oh my gosh, I would love to join you on a tour. I love the city of Lisbon, and oh my gosh, I would love to join a tour. I would love to see when you all are doing tours again. If you're doing tours from COVID, sorry everybody else. I just love Lisbon, and I saw that African Lisbon tour jumped in, and there's just two things that are really, I love Lisbon. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. But with this design builder, my client who I was working with today in the strategy session, as I said, what the second challenge really was, is that she didn't have enough information to do some of the tasks that she wanted to do. So what happens? You'll start a task or start a project, and then you can't finish it because you don't have information, and maybe you don't know where to go to get the right information. Or in fact, you may need to actually pass this task or project off to someone else. Maybe it's not yours to finish. Maybe it was just yours to start, and you need to fill in the gaps to be able to complete. So I just wanted to share those two things, because I think on the journey to executing big, bold plans and doing amazing and impactful work in the world, we can often get stuck if we don't have a proper strategy and if we don't have some of the information that we need to move forward the plans that we have. So I would like us to see, when you start to say, well, I'm not good at that, or I don't do this well, to ask yourself, do I have the structure in place to do this? Then after, do I have the structure in place? Do I have the information needed in order to get this done? And I will tell you this, and this is the third key, that's like the thing that brings it all together. Do I have the right plan? Or do I have a plan to get it done? So often as creatives and visionaries, we want to jump right in, and we've got the idea and we're ready to run, but we haven't counted the cost of what it takes to get done what we're trying to complete. And so that would be my final kind of thing, is when you have the great idea, take the time to investigate, what will it take to get this done? Who do I need to bring with me in this process, either to help me or to bring along with me to guide me, whatever it is. Who do I need on team, or who do I need on project? And what are the steps that we're going to take to get this done? So that way you're not hitting a point in the project cycle where you're fatigued. Right? We can get really fatigued at certain points in project cycles because we have not taken the time to actually create a plan that gets us from point A to point B. So that's a little bit of my kind of sharing with you some things that I saw, and I want to be sure that as you're developing out plans, as you are developing out work, as you are developing your influence as leaders, that you're not stuck in saying, I'm not good at these things, without first having taken inventory of, do I have the right strategy and structure in place? Do I have the right information? And have I created a plan to actually get this done? And a plan that not only involves yourself, but that involves others who can support you along the journey. So that's a little bit from my session today, and I'd love to hear, how you kind of foolproof your plans so that you can get them done.